Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, the Candlekeep Mysteries books, the awesome setting books this, in my opinion, nonsense book is displacing. So Candlekeep Mysteries is an anthology of adventures. We don't even need adventure books. We certainly don't need anthology adventure books. And this displaced several, at least 5 major setting books we need, right? So today I want to talk about how we get the settings we want. So how does the Dungeons & Dragons community get the setting books it desperately wants and really encourage Hasbro Gaming, not WotC. By the way, WotC is just a label at this point. I don't think it really has any meaning. We should start, as a D&D community, we should start addressing Hasbro Gaming. Because when we use the tag Hasbro Gaming and we say Hasbro Gaming and we make requests of Hasbro Gaming, we're going to the source. WotC, everything they do goes through the filter of control and authority of Hasbro Gaming, right? So the reality is, I'm convinced WotC, WotC is just, it's really a completely unnecessary label that is on Dungeons & Dragons that is no longer needed, right? That, what's Wizards of the Coast make? It's all Hasbro Gaming, in my opinion, right? And that's important, and we'll get there in a minute. How do we get the settings we want, right? So what are the settings I want? And then I want you to think about the settings you want, okay? So here's the settings I want. I want Planescape 5th Edition. I want a Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Planescape setting book, right? Same book, hardback, 256 pages, traditional size, full color, right? Here is the setting books I want. Planescape, Forgotten Realms, okay? Not mentioned in a bunch of adventures, but real, right? Then Birthright, okay? Also Rokugan. Really want Rokugan as a setting, real setting. Dark Sun, give it to me, right? And I think that's it. That's all I want, right? Okay, but those are big. And here's the thing: I know there's worlds that I left off that list that many of you want. Okay, we want real good setting books, and here's one. I want a new Eberron. Okay, what do I mean by that? I want a new world setting book that is from a new vision and a new voice. Right? We did get one of these, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. I want another one. I want a setting that is unique and new and special and really carves out a new area, right? New creative content, new setting for D&D 5th Edition. I want these things, right? And the fact that Candlekeep Mysteries is taking up space from these 5th Edition setting books we desperately need, that we desperately want, right, is just maddening. Right? So we really need to get there, okay? Now, how do we get it, right? So one, if you've been paying attention, if you want something in this world, in the last 2 weeks, we learned a lot how not to get what you want, right? And this weekend, we learned how not, and this summer, we learned how not to get what you want, right? Like, one, when you want something nowadays, you need to ask respectfully, peacefully, carefully, cautiously, respectfully, right? Like, we need to do it that way. So how do we get what we want from Hasbro Gaming? So here's my advice. If we want these settings, the best way to get them is simply to respectfully, carefully, cautiously, and in a good, sound manner, request them. If we want something, we should ask for it. How do we ask for it in a way that can be heard? I think we know now, right? I'll tell you what it is. Hashtag please Hasbro Gaming, okay, on Twitter. So everybody, if you want a 5th Edition setting book, just ask for it on Twitter. Say, you could fit it in 144 characters. Just say, please hashtag Hasbro Gaming, make a D&D 5th Edition Rokugan setting book. Please Hasbro Gaming, make a Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Forgotten Realms setting book. Hashtag please Hasbro Gaming, make a Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Planescape setting book. This is how it's done. It's that simple. Now you're like, well, Scott, you could do that on any social media site. No, don't do that. All right, here's why. Here's why it belongs on Twitter. Okay, and I want to get these things right, so I want to use the most powerful platform and a method that consolidates the D&D community's desire, and a method we know the Dungeons & Dragons team listens to, and that is Twitter. I'll tell you right now, it's clear as day that the Dungeons & Dragons design team is not ignoring Twitter. They are constantly putting stuff directly into Arcana, Unearthed Arcana, that is specifically being massively discussed on Twitter. Okay, why does Twitter matter more? First of all, Instagram is, forget it. No one. If you want to signal to marketers what should be sold to you, maybe Instagram is useful, there a little bit. But generally, Instagram, it doesn't really carry a message. It carries an aesthetic, it carries an idea, it carries youth. Instagram doesn't carry messages. Okay, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but they're jumbled and nobody knows what the meaning is. Okay, so Instagram is, forget it. You're not going to be able to get a clear message to anyone through Instagram, right? You might be able to get a feeling across, right, or something like that, but you're not going to get anything meaningful there through Instagram. Facebook, most people are on Facebook, but here's the kicker. This is why Twitter matters. The smartest people are on Twitter. Okay, if you're a journalist, you cannot survive without a Twitter handle. You have to have it. People who are educated, people who have money, people who have power, right, are on Twitter. It's just a fact, right? And here's the biggest kicker: is in the last 2 weeks, Twitter has thrown the gauntlet down, right? In the last 2 weeks, Twitter suspended the most powerful person in the world and said, we're cutting you off, we're silencing you, you're done, right? Twitter said, we are so powerful that we control the narrative. We control the narrative, right? And even though this person was connected to a massively powerful role, Twitter said, we're bigger than you. We matter more than you, right? And they're not wrong. Right now, Twitter is involved in international power struggles throughout the world. It is a platform that cannot be ignored by anyone that has money, power, and position. It is the most prominent, powerful social media site in the world. Facebook has more reach, Facebook has more scale, but Facebook does not matter the way Twitter matters. People listen to what is said on Twitter. And I think the design, and we already know for a fact that the Dungeons & Dragons design team pays hyper close attention to what is said on Twitter. That is the place for us to respectfully, carefully, cautiously, diligently, right, ask for what we want. And I think that's how we get these setting books that continue to be denied to us for an increasingly large number of useless adventure books. DM's Guild is literally chock full. If you never printed another adventure book ever, anyone could go on to DM Guild right now and get 100 amazing adventures for nothing, right? Adventure books are trash. We need setting books. This is how we get them. We carefully, we respectfully, we diligently, we ask for them carefully, respectfully, diligently, cautiously. We request them with no cost to ourselves, with our Twitter accounts, publicly, and we keep it simple, we keep it clean, with hashtag please Hasbro Gaming. That's my opinion. What do you think, right? Do you think I'm right that Twitter really is not like any social media site in the world and just threw the gauntlet down recently saying, nobody matters the way we matter, right? And in the last 4 years, someone literally said, hey, I can replace the media with one social media site. I can replace all journalists in the nation with one social media site. That's the scale and prominence. That is the prominence of Twitter. They don't have scale. They have prominence, right? They have providence. They have power. And we can use that to get the settings we want. All that's my opinion. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.